Okay, I'm going to try to get through this. I'm actually going to read the whole thing. The type is extremely small, I realize, so I might go in and actually change it. You can see I have my glasses on. I even have a light so I can actually see the print better. But I'm going to read the entire story since it is a short. It's called The Curse and Gift of Hope. The acknowledgments are to all those people who know what more than just sad means. There truly is always hope. Life is often what we perceive it to be rather than what it is. Chapter 1. I know why people kill themselves, she said in a hushed, eerie tone, while her eyes illuminated amongst her pale face. I was memorized by her eyes, staring straight into mine as my mind tried to comprehend her words. Just for a moment, I was lost and confused into an abyss of my own, since I heard these words before. But where? I stumbled backwards as her spell broke, not wanting to break the silence that now lay between us. Hoping, yes, hoping, that she would break into one of her illustrious smiles that lit up her whole face, a smile which said that she was only joking. However, as the silence stretched on, I knew she wasn't joking, but having one of her mysterious moments. Even though we'd been friends for years, I have never gotten used to those moments. Her name was Hope. I often wondered if her parents named her Hope for themselves, to always remind them to look, there's hope, in an ironic way. If her parents had stopped and looked deeply into their newborn daughter's eyes, they would have seen a knowledge that no newborn should hold, and a wisdom beyond her years. Instead, all they saw was their lovely bundle of joy, swathed in blankets, basking in her first moments of life. I know why people kill themselves. Whoops, she whispered. It was supposed to be. Again, as tears streamed from her eyes. Oh, I wanted to reach out and comfort her, as I could see the pain start to emulate out from her very soul. It was as if she did not want to know the answer herself. In the time it took for us to actually become friends, I'd finally gotten over my fear of her and her weird abilities. She had a strength that few had or would ever attain. I learned that she kept her silence about many things she knew few could comprehend, accept, or handle what she distinguished from feeling the world around her. For her pain was as much to life as joy. This she had explained to me one quiet afternoon. Pain and anger are some of the strongest emotions people emulate, for at times it seems that they are afraid to feel happiness or love, so they mask it with other. What amazed me was that we were just 5 years old at the time. Did I comprehend what she said, or somehow did she etch it in my memory, that later, when I was ready, I would understand her words? I did not know from the moment I met her. I did know from the moment I met her that she had a soft soul, a soul that could be so easily hurt, which to her may feel like someone had ripped her insides out. I know why people kill themselves. Her words brought me back to reality, as my mind screamed, I don't want to know. As my eyes focused on her face and her eyes, she looked like a little girl lost in the woods who was being stalked by a pack of wolves. Tormented, she feared of an understanding, even if she did not want to know. I then wondered, was she feeling their pain? Or was she feeling the way a person had died? Or was it her pain? I know not where it came from, but I could only guess from her soul, as she emitted a guttural wailing that I was sure even miles away they could hear. I was filled with such anguish and loneliness, I could only stare at her as she shivered. Tears flowed, now unhindered, down her face. In a blurred movement, she had dropped down on her knees, bent over, and hugged herself as if she might break apart. I had only seen her like this one at a time. She had felt it, scared me, so she often hid or masked it when that moment came upon her, all to protect me and my most fragile mind. I realized finally just how fragile she was in the world that lived by logic, needs, and desires, while her whole being felt everything around her. How overwhelming it can be, unless she was able to shut it out, the constant chaos it must play in her mind as she absorbs, on a steady basis, all the emotions around her. She does it not by her will, but by who and what she is. Recently, she smiled her half-waved smile at me and told me, "If I ever tell you I need protection or shelter, just hold me. For it is then I need to feel safely guarded from the world, so that I may gather my thoughts and strength. Since I feel you, it's you who may shelter me from the world." I didn't completely understand it until now. Yes, I did nothing. As this wave of unwanted emotion passed into her and through her, oh God, I did nothing. Maybe I wasn't supposed to. She did not ask me for shelter or protection, but then maybe she was already too far gone, or she could not. Shakily, I bent down to the gnarled figure curled up in a ball, trembling and choking on sobs. I willed my body to lie down beside her, matching her shape so we fit together like a puzzle, ever so gently. I was not even sure she could feel me or knew I was there. I wrapped my arms around her, holding her in a soft embrace. She shimmied closer to me as a moth to a flame. When we looked as if we were one, I felt her body slowly start to relax. Neither of us said anything, for this was beyond words, beyond even my comprehension. I could feel an ebbing in my body first, an icy coldness, a feeling I hope never to feel again. Just when I was starting to worry if I was ever going to be swallowed up by the cold, warmth swirled around it, blocking the cold from its hold. Hope! My mind called out, for I know it was her protecting me, her strength, her compassion, not mine. And yet, I was the protector. I was blocking out the world so that she may release the pain that laid inside her. And for that, she in turn protected me. How long we laid there, I do not know. All I know is when all was done, she held a stiff finger to her soft pink lips. "Shh," she said, for it was never supposed to be spoken of again, or at least for now. She wasn't ready. And since I didn't ask, I guess neither was I. Chapter 2. Hope, I called silently into the vast blue sky. Hope. The sky is falling, the sky is falling, swirled through my head as memories come back to haunt our reality. Hope and I couldn't have been more than 3 years old, as we bounced up and down giggling under the huge oak tree that majestically stood in her yard. The sun that day was blazing, casting its light in the floating leaves of golden hues above us as they cascaded to the ground. "The sky is falling!" she exclaimed with a small smirk on her flawless face. I watched as she tilted her head back slowly, raising her arms in front of her as if she's going to catch something. Something was right, for a dark object fell from above her and thumped into her outstretched arms. "Wow," I said, lost for words, as she pulled the small, black, squirming object towards her, nestling it gently against her chest. "Mommy!" she squealed. "Can we keep her?" This proved to be ominous words for the squirming kitten she held, which became part of her shadow in life. She named the kitten Longfellow. In older times, long ago, I realize now, for all the strange occurrences that surrounded her life, Hope would have surely been labeled a witch. However, in today's society, the only thing labeled her by her peers was weird, crazy, or anything negative they could come up with. But to me, she was always amazing. Through the years, she floated in and out of my life like a warm breeze on a bright fall day, chasing away the chill and warming my soul with her laughter and warmth. One touch from Hope seemed to erase my fears, and like her name, gave me hope. Though I never really understood her, I knew part of me loved her from the first time I saw her. Pink face, eyes glowing in laughter, her jaw locked in determination. She willed her limbs to climb to unknown heights on a playground, with her long chestnut brown hair flowing all around her. And the thought made my heart soar, but only for a moment, for I was too young to understand the nature of my affection. Hope, in all her independence, in all her wisdom, and seemingly unique abilities, couldn't protect herself from our world. With a soft, loving heart and a gentle but wise soul who chose her own path rather than being a follower from the harshness of what the masses deemed reality. I felt a soft flutter caressing my hand. A warm comfort ebbed up my arm without opening my eyes. I knew hope was here at last. With me under our beloved oak tree, my hope and no other. Chapter 3. Thanks, Mick. Yes, it's still a live recording. This is really small print. Okay, Chapter 3. The Curse and Gift of Hope. We sat under the oak tree peacefully. There was a gentle knowing between us that this was enough. In some ways, I knew her soul like no other, and she knew mine. An imperfect perfection among us, together but always apart. Only our breathing and the beating of our hearts broke the silence before us. A moment so perfect that it sent glistening drops of water upon my hand. And I realized hope, caught up in the moment, released the tenderness of her heart without a sound. My sole idea was, if I could feel the world as profoundly as she does. But I already knew that idea or wish was a double-edged knife, while bringing not only extreme joy, but also extreme sadness as well. A soft crackle broke into the distance as she whispered to me, "It's time." I love you, Mick. Had I been the age that I am now, I would have asked her questions rather than assume I knew the answers. For a smart man knows that he knows nothing and to always seek answers. Chapter 4. My name is insignificant. It's hope that holds the power, the glory, and what else? For hope is sometimes all we have. When I was younger, I read this poem. I learned this poem because somehow it always reminded me of hope. The Follower by eNKay, 1988. I follow my heart where it leads me, only once in a while I stray. I laugh at my fears and cry for my sorrows along the darkened way. I pray there's someone waiting to guide me hand in hand across the desolate and dusty sands. I may falter and fall, but I'll not perish, for I am strong. All I find myself searching for is to whom I belong. My heart belongs to someone, that someone I shall not tell, since then my heart might get broken, and then I shan't feel well. Therefore I live my fantasies, and I hide my fears so true, since I paid the price of my loving you. Hope loved the world. So was her gift the price she paid? In school she wrote a poem, which caused a lot of upheaval. As school counselors scrambled to get into her mind, the poem went like this. A misty cloud of sadness drifted upon my heart. Silently my tears fell, tearing me slowly apart. I prayed for the sadness to be washed away. I cried for help throughout the day. I went searching for a friend I could not find, only the seclusion of loneliness and the passing time. The longer this went on, the less I cared. I yelled, to heck with you all for not being there. I knew my time to expire had finally come. I prayed again for this feeling to succumb. By the time the counselors were done with hope, she had counseled them all, and soon her life went back to what was her usual. Chapter 5. We trekked through the inky blackness, surrounded by gnarled limbs of gray, reaching out as if trying to grab hold of us. How hope could find her way while following a speck of running black through the twists and turns was beyond me. I did, however, make sure that I hung on to Hope's hand, since I knew I did not want to be lost out there alone. The wood seemed more silent than usual, except for the crunching of our footsteps among its debris. While the moon was hidden from our view, I knew it hung up there somewhere, casting its glow. For us, an ethereal darkness that seemed to ooze from everywhere. How I wished for its glow. An image played inside my head, just a flash, but disturbing all the same. A part of me wondered if this was what she was hiding from, sending it to my mind by accident. The picture that was her mother, twisted on the floor, holding a long-bladed knife. She looked like a broken grown-up doll as tears and blood cascaded from her cheeks onto the floor where she laid sobbing. I was glad I couldn't hear her, but I could imagine the sound that she must have made, the sound of utter desolation, emptiness, and defeat. Hope's mom and dad's marriage ended with a swish, and all was over. Her mother didn't technically die, but pieces inside her mind did, while now her only hope was to rebuild, while her dad walked away unscathed. Hope's words gently nudged my mind. Never love someone more than you love yourself. From the memory I saw in her mind, I had never intended to. However, life is full of surprises, and not all had hope. Off in the distance, a rumbling of nature's fury unfolded, and I knew that sound well since I had spent many hot summer days upon its shore. Do you trust me? Hope's soft words floated in my head, echoing that word, trust. I nodded my head numbly, not sure if I was numbed by the cold or by what I knew was coming. There was a brief thought, but oh so brief, of, am I crazy? But it was gone before my body stiffened and I rebelled. Hand in hand we reached the shore of the raging river. The moon cast a broken image upon its turbulent waters. The darkness mixed with golden light flickered, a sense of awe inside me. I shivered. Hope must have felt me tremble, for she turned to me and enveloped me in her warm arms, holding me in a warm comfort as a mother might hold her child. Are you ready? She whispered in my waiting ear. I swallowed, shaking once more, trying to ease the tightness I felt in my throat. Yes, I croaked. She lifted her hand gently upon my chin, pulling it down so that my eyes locked on hers. Her eyes so dark, beautiful, and mysterious. I felt I could stare at them forever, but it was not the time. Now or never. Let the good times roll, the words played inside my head, quietly. As we held each other, we became one. Hand in hand, we ran and plunged feet first in the small part of nature's fury, the icy, roaring river. Chapter 6. The icy coldness that saturated our clothes was probably cold enough to stop a heart, but as far as I knew, both our hearts were still pulsing blood through our veins, or at least making an attempt. I held my breath as undercurrent pulled us along the bottom, repeating Hope's words of trust me in my mind. My lungs burned, craving the oxygen I needed, while my eyes remained closed, shielded a bit from the icy water. Then just like that, it was over. My mind was confused. Was I lying down? Was I alive? Wiggling my hand in search for Hope's hand, all I felt was the emptiness of the air. As my hand skimmed the base that I now figured I must be laying on, it felt all wrong to be the shore of a river. The bottom was too soft and billowy. Did we make it? My mind asked itself. A thudding like a jackhammer sprang from my chest as fear crept through me. I was alive, but where was hope? I willed my eyes to open. However, my eyes rebuked the order, as did my mouth when I tried to call out her name. Hope! My mind screamed over and over, as if willing her to be by my side, to feel her presence, so that I would know I was alive. Then a peaceful blackness overtook my body and my mind as I drifted through its chilling caress. Releasing me from the cares of my world, I floated effortlessly in this vast rift from humanity, the world. Then a small light flickered in the distance. I was drawn to the light like a mosquito to a bug light, as my human part wanted to encompass it, to make it my own. Using my arms and legs like a swimmer who was swimming for his life to escape a shark, I swam towards a shimmering glow. Time did not exist anymore. However, the radiance grew minutely with each stroke I made. My body tired, my strokes less industrious, my hope faded fast of ever reaching the light. I wanted to give up and just let my body and my mind float through the darkened abyss. I'm here, I heard a lulling voice call out to me. I am here. I reached out to the voice. I reached out to the radiance. I drew a line with my muddled mind from myself to my goal. A warm heat engulfed my body and protected my mind, while a gentle nudge from someone near me caused me to open my eyes. There before me, glowing like a streetlight, was hope. My hope at last. So I have a poem that I'm not going to read. I'm just going to skip through it. It's called Peaceful Seclusion. Okay, chapter 7. Free! Was hope really free? The last time I saw her, my shining light, she was my hope. I carried her memory with me wherever I go. Is there life after death? Or is there death after life? I guess it all depends on how we look at things. I chose to believe that even our physical bodies die, somehow we go on. And the thought of nothingness is too painful for me to bear. When I woke up in the hospital, my hope, they told me, was gone. I tried to tell them they were all wrong, for I saw her, I saw my hope. No one believed me. No one listened to me. I'd been well enough to attend her funeral and see her stiff, painted face, which looked peaceful in its deep slumber. My ears still hear her sweet voice calling to me. My heart felt her warmth of her love and soul, as if she had tattooed it upon my heart. My memories are all that I have left of her. No longer can I hold her or keep her safe. In this life, my job was done. I read often the writings she gifted me with, the writings she never showed to another person, only me, my hope. I didn't understand until now how she gave me the gift of hope forever and the knowledge of when to pass that hope on. I hope that wherever she is, she may be able to read what in her life I was never able to tell her. That just maybe somehow she knew how I felt about her. Just maybe, however, just maybe's our theory, a theory, we hope. For before her casket was shut and sank into the cold dark ground, I stayed up all night writing this, so a piece of me was always with her, a piece of my heart, a piece of my soul, which will always belong to my hope. Just feel the wind blow, watching the drifting snow. That's when my heart knows you are the one. Bringing me sunshine, showing me moonlight, casting out darkness out of my world. A warm fire growing, flaming my passion, flaming my love out into the world. Your arms are my shelter. Your arms are my lifeline, holding me safely away from sorrow. Just feel the wind blow, watching the drifting snow. That's when my heart knows you are the one. We dance in the moonlight, our souls full of laughter. It's just the two of us, our hearts entwined. Just feel the wind blow, watching the drifting snow. That's when my heart knows you are the one. To be with you in this moment, to be forever, lost in your eyes, found in your heart. Kiss me in the morning, kiss me in the nighttime, kiss me forever as our lives embark. So, chapter 8. I decided to share Hope's writings with you, for hope was meant for the world, not just for me. Yes, my hope. Her full name, ironically, was Hope Eternal. So, in the back of the book, there's all kinds of different writings. So, I don't know if I should, let's see. Okay, here's one from Hope Eternal. I know that you and your dog are very close to one another and share everything. I'm sorry to hear that both of you have fleas. I hope all your suffering from the itching and scratching will be over soon. That you both will be back to perfect health and suffer no ill effects from your daily flea baths. I realize we have been friends through all these years and have shared many things, so I feel I can make this one request. Please keep your fleas to yourself. Okay, the next one. So you're moving far, far away as the day approaches. I just have to say, whew, it's about time. What took you so long? And this one's called I Am in Love. I am in love. The world's a better place, for I am in love. Oh, the person I'm in love with may not be very beautiful to others, but they are to me. They may not seem very clever, intelligent, coordinated, or successful to the rest of the world, but to me, they are all those qualities and more. I know they may make mistakes, but that's okay, since it is a learning process. That they may not always be polite at times, selfish. The world may dislike them for who and what they are, but none of that matters since I am in love. As the challenges of the world become heavy and difficult, I will be there for them to offer encouragement and support. I will be there holding their hand when they are scared and to give them a shoulder to cry on, to wash their tears away, since I am in love. I sometimes wonder, are they worthy of such love? And the answer is definitely yes. So who is this person that I'm in love with? Myself. Here's one. I'm not hurt. I'm Super Dragon Lady. Faster than a snail, able to leap rocks with just one step, with emotional cunningness that can detach my heart at will and throw it at a perpetrator, mending it with super glue. Keep the nail polish remover away from me, my heart though, for it acts like kryptonite. Does to Superman, making my heart come unglued and shattering into a zillion pieces. Last time I was attacked with nail polish remover, I think, I missed a piece of my heart, for it's a little cockeyed now. As I sit alone in darkened rooms, sleep surrender to me, penning flashing thoughts on a white space, smiling, for I know eventually I'll win. For sleep you can only be evasive for a time. However, I crave your gentle touch, caressing my body in your warm embrace, for you've been gone too long and I am cold. Surrender to me, and I in turn will offer you my body, my mind. Together we'll share an eternity, for together lost in time. So there's a few more stories I'm not going to read, and in the end, it says, Hope eternal, always and forever, in my heart. And that's the end. So